What up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to Pics or It Didn't Happen. I am Fats King. This is my homie Yeti. We are separated in distance, but always close together in the heart. Hey, bro?
I mean, sure, yeah. He's social distancing, so we're going to keep it safe, and we're going to do this high-tech, high-speed, new world stuff.
With that being said, we are joined by what I'd like to say is probably one of the next names you should all fucking know. If you don't know it yet, you should be introduced. I got fucking introduced at Nasty Bash 5. I'd heard some of your guys' music before, but to actually see it live is a whole nother fucking thing. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to the listeners.
What's going on? I'm Novels from Sky Swamp Orange.
And I am Ronnie from Sky Swamp Orange.
So, with the introductions out of the way, I gotta say once again, you guys blew me out of the fucking water. I was so taken aback by your live performance. I was about 2 tabs deep, and I could not fucking. I didn't even know all the words and shit yet, but the energy you guys were pumping off the fucking stage was unbelievable.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's always kind of been something that we strive to do, is like really go ham on stage and stuff. Obviously kind of warming back up after, taking a break for so long because of COVID. I wouldn't say it's unnatural, but it's definitely like, oh shit, like I want to like get really back into this, but it's like, it's weird because I haven't been on stage for so long. So I definitely want to bring much more energy. But it feels good to be back on stage, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy. I think too, like for us, a big part of it is just like bringing that energy is half the battle. We want to leave. And when we leave the stage, we want people to remember like, oh shit, that band we just saw had a mouthful for a band name, but I ain't never going to forget them after that one.
Yeah, I'll absolutely say that. I will never forget your name after that fucking performance. And then the homie Fams, for him to actually be like, yeah, they do what we do, but a lot better. That was the highest praise I think I've ever seen anyone get.
Oh, any compliment we ever get from those guys, we just we hold it real close because we love those dudes. And honestly, we think the opposite way. Like for us, it's always like, there's no way we want to play after you because there's just like they have like a whole ass show going on, they got it so planned down to a T. They're incredible. I love those dudes.
Yeah, shout out to Fams and the Hooligans. That's all about that 26 shit. But so how did you guys in Connecticut, because I just found out where the fuck you were from today, were you always a part of the underground / juggalo scene, or was this something that you're only just coming into? I only ask because I'm just curious.
So that is kind of funny. We all really come from different backgrounds. For me personally, I was more so into like the metalcore kind of scene and stuff like that up in Connecticut. I wasn't really in any bands, so to speak, before Sky Swamp. Funny enough, I was actually in this like Christian rock band for like a while in high school because like gotta do what you gotta do to play some music. But Stray was actually really the one that was kind of already a part of that scene beforehand because he had been making music and stuff, and he'd like kind of come up off of like Mad Max and ICP and Twisted and all that. So he was really the one that kind of introduced us into the scene more so. And honestly, I think as a band, it wasn't even like purposeful to wind up into the scene that we are right now. It just kind of happened naturally. But I couldn't be happier about it. People are just like so hardcore devoted to supporting each other and like being there for the underground bands. Like, I love it. I love it.
Well, we've gotten to a point where it seems like sometimes word juggalo is a 4-letter word, and nobody wants to have that tagged on them. So I take one from, like you said, Mad Max. I take one from him. We call it juggalo adjacent. You don't have to be absolutely affiliated with wearing face paint and all that other shit, but you understand that there is a side of this underground shit that just supports the fuck out of good music if you find the right fans.
Yeah, I would say so. Me personally, I would say that like the juggalo scene is definitely way out in left field for me, like in wherever anything that I've ever been. So it does kind of, you would think about it at first, and you think that like that name kind of, I don't know, you think of like a certain like
type of person.
Yeah.
And no, then, I totally fucking get it, dude.
And then so like now being like subject to the scene, like I've just seen so much love and appreciation, and like it's actually really humbling to like see people like really like truly not only supporting your music, but like truly supporting, not just being like, yeah, cool, dude, you're dope, but like actually really being in love with what you do and what you're in love with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I will say that people seem to forget about us, is that we love fucking music, and it's cool to see guys like you and like Fams and like a few other people that prove that there is a place for fucking metal and full bands in this scene, especially if it's done with real grit and talent like you guys have.
Thank you for that compliment. That's a huge compliment for starters. But I absolutely agree 100% with that. I think that, I don't know, it's a trend that I'm really excited to kind of keep being moving throughout this whole kind of umbrella, because there's so much you can do, and you don't have to limit yourself to a specific style within it. You just love music.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool to see people expanding upon that, because now you're not just like, I don't know, people who only ever listened to hip hop, coming up on that are now like, whoa, how come I didn't know like metal music could be so kick ass, or like even like an alternative type style, like, oh shit, I never really like fucked with this kind of sound before, but like now that this group that I have grown to be quite fond of is kind of pumping that in there. They're doing it in a way that I'm feeling, and it just kind of opens up this whole new world for people to discover different types of music all over.
Yeah, that sounds like the greatest fucking thing ever. Just the idea of people not just letting one thing limit their scope. You really should open yourself up to as much as you can, as far as like you were saying, as far as like fucking music. But
so you talk about that the different scenes and being welcomed into those scenes and the mixing of different styles of music. So what is something that you guys are doing now that you really didn't think would be something you would ever do?
Ooh, that's a good question. So the first one, we played Rituals at Nasty Bash, which was a song Strike and I had kind of collaborated on before we started putting out the singles for Sky Swamp this year.
Mm-hmm.
And playing that live and kind of practicing that, something we hadn't really like, I don't know, just me being able to step off of the bass and give like kind of a backup on energy right up front, and then Ronnie and Hunter just absolutely holding it down instrumentally. I think that's something, number one, that we hadn't really played with before, like, relying kind of on 808s to hit the low end. That's kind of my own bias though, as a bassist, like, so it's hard for me to step out of that box. I think other than that, big thing too is, for a long time we've wanted to implement like kind of like backing tracks and everything into our set to make it sound bigger and better. And Ronnie's actually absolutely been killing it on like figuring out how that whole system works. And for us to be able to do that now this year has really changed so much for us, I think.
How long have you guys actually been together as a unit, like this collective unit?
We've been together 2016. since 2016. So this is our fifth year together.
Well, I gotta say, as soon as I got home from Nasty Ash, I definitely went to Spotify and opened up the back catalog and seen the rest of your shit. So I've become a fan quickly. I'm curious, is there anything new on the horizon you can tell us about?
So I don't know how much I'm supposed to say right now, and Ronnie, you can jump in and tell me to shut up if I'm already like.
Actually, at this point, I would just say what you want, because I mean, yeah, I mean, don't say what you want, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a collection of music coming out pretty soon here. I don't have a date, like specific date, so I can't be like, oh, it's coming out this time, whatever. It's soon. It's really soon. We're really close to the end, but like at this point, we've been leaving like a breadcrumb trail so long, it's like hard to miss the fact that we're doing this now.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna like say the name of what it is or like how many tracks or whatever, but I mean, we got some stuff coming out relatively soon.
So
Patience is a virtue.
With you wrapping up on this and new music coming soon, what are some of the biggest challenges you guys face when you're trying to promote music and grow the fan base using the new technology and, you know, not as much live events going on right now?
That I think the biggest struggle is finding the right way to invest in advertising. You know, with so much, you try to get like an organic reach is kind of like the best way to do it, but that is so hard, especially with like the way that Facebook has now set up its algorithms. It's absolutely killing a lot of us. I mean, you could dump in like $30-$60 into their whole ad market, but the turnaround, you could still only get like not that many new people seeing where it's coming from. A lot of the time they just push it out to people who are already following you.
Yep.
That to me is the biggest struggle. I know that we went in, I'd have to look at the analytics for it, but I really am also unsure of how well our Google ad plug went into. So I think going forward, it's just finding like, maybe we have to find people who plug, you know, playlists that are popular and go about it that way, you know? So the biggest thing is like just figuring out how you're going to advertise and which avenue is going to get your best money's worth while also getting pushed out to the right people.
I think something that we've kind of always done too. We're fortunate that we're all kind of multifaceted in creating graphics and content for the band on top of just making the music. So I think one of the most bang for your buck ways that we can actually kind of promote our stuff is when we make our own music videos and our own content generating videos that we kind of put out, and we've seemed to have like a lot of traction from those videos because bands and artists, even the ones that you love dearly, they'll put out like a single sometimes and you're just like, oh, maybe I'll check it out at some point. But if there's a video and you fuck with that video, I feel like that not only retains the fan, but also gives your music way more opportunity to be shared and be pushed around, you know, through the black hole of the internet.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we've like really tried to do is be very video heavy. And again, after coming back from, you know, quarantine and COVID and stuff, we're getting back into that swing and stuff. And we used to do like, you know, goofy little update videos and stuff that may or may not still be on the internet somewhere. Some of them are pretty interesting. But we will definitely get back into that at some point for sure.
Well, and it's like you just said it though. You have to wear many hats. You can't just be I'm a rapper, I'm in a band. You have to be, like you said, a graphic artist, a videographer. You have to, and there are so many people that just don't understand that, and that's why they don't get why they're getting nowhere. They think that someone's just going to do it for them, and it takes a lot for someone to step back and be like, all right, I guess I have to take on another responsibility, even though I thought I was just, you know, a guitar player. I thought I was just, you know, a rapper, but nobody really thinks about how much work actually comes into this. They think about the afterthought, the party when it's done, but you have to grind, and you have to. And another thing, you guys have you thought about taking advantage of possible street teams in cities where you haven't been?
Oh yes, we've thought about it for sure. We haven't like organized anything officially yet, but we've actually put stuff out there, and we have kind of reached out to people and try and implemented that a little bit. I do think there's a plan to kind of, bring that more to life at some point as well.
Yeah, I said we've tried the street teams in the past. I think when we initially did it beforehand, we were still kind of like fresh in terms of figuring out how to do the whole damn thing. So I think now that we've got more experience, a little bit more, knowledge on it, and have seen the way that other people are doing it. Actually, again, tip of the hat to Fams and the Hooligans. They've been killing it with their street stuff. And just to be able to kind of derive from, see like, oh, hey, these are the methods you guys are using, and it seems to be working out really well. Like, you can kind of pick little things here and there where people are nailing the head, right on, spot on, and just kind of be like, oh, let's take a little bit from this and that. And then we'll be hopefully trying to implement it that way pretty soon. But yeah, the street teams, they're great, but as long as you know how to work it the right way.
And you also have to have people who are willing to work it, because you can be like, here's all these fucking flyers, and here's all this promo, and it just sits in somebody's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with that, I'm happier that we're kind of heading in the direction that we are, and I think we're more in a place to do the whole street team thing now, because before quarantine and before we kind of went dark for a while, I feel like we didn't have fans, we just had friends. We had, for a while, we had really supportive friends and stuff, but like, friends are not your fans. I love them to death, but they'll fall off eventually. Like, there's only so much they can do. But now I feel like we have fans. After now we're starting to generate like an actual fan community, and not just a friend community. And I feel like once this actually builds up, then we can really drive that whole street team thing home.
And when we talk about having fans, what's the most important thing that a fan could do right now that's going to help you guys out?
Share. If we put out a song, we put out a video or something, just share it. That's the biggest thing, honestly, because that is how you get your organic reach. It's just people constantly sharing. Somebody sees, oh, this person keeps sharing that, or I see this keep getting shared around. They're gonna be a lot more apt to click on that and to like see what people are talking about. So if you see something, hit that heart react and share it, and comment too, because commenting on those things really helps push it through the algorithm.
People don't fucking understand that shit. I hate when I drop something and nobody says nothing about it. It's like, okay, cool, you reacted, I appreciate that, but give me some comments. Even if it's shit, I'll argue with you in the comment section just to make my fucking reach go up.
I ask.
That's what I'm saying.
And they ignore my questions.
See, he gets it.
So with all the using the social media platforms and all the different things that we have subscriptions for now, because everything is, I know there's probably some that are exclusive to bands. What would you guys say is the most important subscription that you guys just wouldn't be able to do without?
For me, I don't know if this is the right category, but an Adobe subscription for sure. I couldn't make videos and stuff without it.
Yeah, they make it pretty tough. I know there is like, I was using DaVinci Resolve. The problem there is you have to have a monstrous computer to even try to run that thing. So you end up spending more on a computer than your subscription costs. Yeah,
I tried Resolve for a while, but I've been using Premiere for, I don't know, like honestly, like 10 years at this point. So I can't use anything else. I'm just gonna lose time. It's the learning curve is too steep. Like they've sucked me in for the rest of my life. I'm there.
I would probably have to say some sort of like plugins subscription. I know Stray has gotten a couple of those, and they've helped us pretty phenomenally for sounds, especially. I don't want to give away too many secrets, but guys, if you don't have it out there, Drumagog, big time, Drumagog.
You heard that? That's an endorsement.
I feel like I actually heard Nasty talking about that on Facebook earlier today.
It's a wonderful plugin.
I have a question for you, Novels. How in the fuck do you do that with your voice?
Oh man, I've been, you know what? Like I said, I grew up coming like loving the metalcore and deathcore scene. So like when I was in high school, I was like, I want to know how to do that shit. So I just kind of slowly started looking up videos and stuff. Mainly Melissa Cross. She's number one in my opinion. She's like the greatest vocal coach of all time. But it's really over time training yourself to learn how to not so much do things from your throat, but to do it from your abdomen, your diaphragm, your chest, and your head, not pushing from your throat, because that is what will absolutely destroy your vocal cords.
And kids, I want to point out, you are so lucky you have the internet to teach you these great things.
Yeah.
And definitely take this advice, because I know so many kids when we were in high school, they would literally say, oh, I'm trying to scratch my vocals. So they're just going around and, growling at things and just tearing up their throats and letting it heal and just re-scratching it. And that's not the way to do it.
No, you can fuck yourself over big time by doing that stuff. I mean, there's people in bands that I know that have either had to basically get retrained completely and not even be able to do screams for a long time afterwards because they were doing it the wrong way. I mean, I've known one dude I went to school with, like right after high school, he like did some sort of performance and like literally on stage, his voice cut out and he started coughing up blood because he just was not doing it the right way. You can seriously mess yourself up.
That is some scary shit.
Yep.
It is. It's terrifying. That's one of the things. There's two things I never want anything to happen to. It's my throat and my fingers, because then I'll be absolutely screwed.
I mean, you got to take care of your fucking instrument, right?
Damn right.
And that's why you hear singers later on in years say that they wish they hadn't drank so much, they wish they didn't smoke so much, they wish they didn't, so on and so forth. That's why Axl Rose sounds like your grandmother now.
Well, and I think he found Golden Corral.
What the fuck was that? What did you say?
I said I think he found Golden Corral as well.
Hey, shout out to Golden Corral being back open. I'm fat and I'm very happy about that.
I've never been to a Golden Corral.
I don't think I have either.
I always heard about that chocolate fountain. I'm like, damn, I need to go.
I gotta be honest, I don't trust the chocolate fountain because I watch kids put their boogers in it.
Yeah,
oh, gross. Never mind.
I just ruined that for him entirely. So the next time you're on tour, if you find a Golden Corral, don't go to the chocolate fountain.
All right.
Something else I'd like to throw out there. Congratulations on landing Camp Zool. Holy shit.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, man. We're super stoked on that one. Super stoked.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of Zooligans that they listen to the homie Cam and they listen to Scott Vance and they take my opinion and some other people's opinions pretty good. And we've been speaking really fucking highly of you, and a lot of very big names have been speaking very highly of you. So I feel like your stage, when you guys are up, it's going to be a big crowd. And I personally am looking forward to a real pit, and I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, let's go.
I know we're super stoked for that, and I'm so appreciative of all the good, kind things people have been saying about us. I mean, to just I don't know, it's just a surreal feeling too when somebody you look up to and respect so highly just goes out and said, oh, these guys are making a lot of fucking noise right now, watch out for these guys, or like, people like you and Scott. I love Scotty motherfucking V so much.
Scotty V.
And then Cam, he's killing it with the catacombs and everything, like it's just incredible to see such a sense of community,
Well, I see that you guys have just been welcomed in with open fucking arms, and it's great to see, because this side of the underground can be a bit on the asshole side, and for you guys to like just you didn't just slide in, you punched a hole through the fucking wall, and again, I go back to Nasty Bash. There were so many names that were there that saw you guys perform, and another thing, just because I love to say it, shout out to Carl's Tavern. That's one of my favorite fucking places to be.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wings though, these boys were talking about the wings the whole time, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. They're wings, whatever, and I got them. I got those bourbon wings, and they changed my life for sure.
It will. Carl Stavenbroug's the wings. I got teriyaki this time, and they're my new favorite.
No
Now,
shit.
to bring us back around, we talk about being on Camp Zool and all these things, and being able to play Nasty Bash and getting accepted into the underground. What would you say is the most high pressure situation, that was hard to say, you've ever found yourself in?
Oh, this is fun. So 2017, we got invited to play at the Hartford date of Wart Tour.
Yeah, this.
And we were under the impression that we were going to have to do an acoustic set. And as soon as we got there, the guys that ran the stage all were like, "Hey, where's your guys' equipment? Where's your guys' electric stuff?" So on the fly, we had one guy from one band let Ronnie borrow his electric guitar with a pedal. We had at the time we had our buddy Sipo in the band, who was another vocalist, and he did some like keyboard and synth work. But he had a what the hell was that thing called, Ronnie? Melodica.
Melodica, yeah.
And he had that, and I had an acoustic bass. And then Hunter, our drummer, had like half of a kit that was like a snare, a hi-hat, and a kick drum with like congas and bongos on the other side. So we were just like, I mean, we just got to jump into this and say, fuck it, let's just fucking play the best set we can. Ended up being the most like just on the spot, like hybrid set we've literally ever done. Like the pressure was there. And I don't know, it just came together awesome. We killed it, but we've never done anything like that again because we've never been put in that position since then.
That was weird. I'd say definitely for me that our first show ever at Toad's upstairs. I was
that
so
was
nervous for that, but that went off so hard. We had so many people there. That was a great time.
Awesome.
I mean, that's a hell of a turnout for your first show. Fuck.
Yeah.
But that definitely, I don't know, that was crazy. Other than that, I think in terms of pressure, was that 2017 one or the 2018 one, Ronnie, where we were trying to get votes to be on stage?
I think that was, I don't know. I think that might have been 17.
But I know I did some crazy, stupid stuff just to rack up views and get votes on that, man. I had my whole chest waxed.
Oh yeah, there's a video online somewhere.
Why?
So basically our music videos weren't just doing the trick to get enough votes. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a publicity stunt and just go for it. Because if I can get people hooked in from entertainment, from laughing, and you think that's funny, and you're like, all right, I like these guys, I'm going to throw them a vote.
I mean, that's how you do that shit.
And it happened to be that we did not win the competition from the votes, but because of all the crazy dumb stuff we did for like stunts to try to get votes, they still invited us to come play. So it worked.
What else did you do besides wax your chest?
Let's see. I don't know if this was part of it. I know I definitely ate like some hot peppers.
Oh yeah.
And threw up profusely.
Do you guys plan on trying to continue opening for acts that are involved in this side, or are you going to, try to maybe look toward? Well, there really is no Wart Tour any fucking more, is there? Is that still a thing?
So that's constantly up in the air of on the theoretical of whether that's coming back or not.
Yeah, I think I heard they were talking about bringing it back.
I think there was a whole legal thing with the guy that split ownership for the festival. So I think by the time it does come back, I believe it will be solely owned by like Kevin Lyman and not whoever his business partner was. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the logistics.
It's just I wonder, where is it you guys can go to play? Like, do you plan to tour on your own, or are you looking to put something together with people? Like Fam said, you guys had done the Kool-Aid tour, and that, goddamn, I'm pissed I missed that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest,
personally,
yeah.
Okay, you can go, bud.
I was gonna say Ronnie was not able to be there on that tour, so he didn't get to experience that with us. Honestly, to me, unfortunately, there was certain areas where people weren't completely truthful with fams on what was going on in terms of business. So there was a couple days that were a little bit okay, that could have went a little bit different, but it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. And we made some killer contacts with different people, you know, like King Torch, we got to know, became like best fucking friends with Fams and the Hooligans. And then a couple of other promoters, one guy up in Ohio who was like super chill, who owned this like, I don't know if I forgot what the name of the venue is, but it was like used to be a strip club, and now it's a venue, but the sex shop is still attached to it next door.
Nothing wrong with that.
That place was a riot to play. That place is kind of awesome. But yeah, no, I personally, I think what we're gonna go for, we would definitely like to keep doing tours with bands like that, like Fams, or like we were trying to really make something work with SON for October, but unfortunately our schedules just didn't line up. We are constantly still trying to work with bands and do stuff with artists and groups within this scene. At the same time, though, we are trying to hit those higher level, bigger, high capacity venue type opening.
Well, no one's gonna fault you for that. You know, who gives a fuck? You know, it's all about making the best for you. I mean, like, and again, another thing. Continue to make music you enjoy. Everybody gets stuck with like, oh, I've got to make this thing that my fans think I should make. And I've come to realize artists are happier when they can make what they want to, as opposed to what they're supposed to.
And that actually works well. I was actually going to ask if you guys were to do a record that was sort of outside of what you typically do, what kind of album would you like to make, and who would you like to have work with you on that project?
Reggae core.
So, well, touching the last question from my point of view, and also this one, and it goes into this one. From day one, the goal behind Sky Swamp was to always be, different. And so, like, Noel comes from, Stray comes from. I've just known him for so long that we're just buddies like that. So he comes from a background that is primarily hip hop, and he is part of, he's been part of like the juggalo scene for a long time. I come from like, I would say more so a new metal based. I come from very strong pop influenced background. And John comes from a different background. And so like the goal when we started the band, and especially Hunter, the goal was that we're never going to stick to one thing. Our goal is to always branch out, always be different, always expand on that, and just never ever keep the same sound. So this project that may or may not be coming out soon, the next project that you hear after that is not going to be the same. It's never going to be the same album released after one and another. And so I don't feel like Sky Swamp will ever belong to a scene, even though my goal is that we're welcomed in most of them. But I feel like we'll always kind of be like the wandering nomad that transfers through in and out of different scenes. And our next project is always the music that we're making is always going to be ever changing. And that was like what we planned to do when we signed up from day one, was to never kind of like, was to break down those boundaries that
go where you want
a band, fit into a box. And
yeah,
you see a lot of bands breaking through that, bigger bands like Bring Me the Horizon. They've kind of really branched out in their later years and made different music and stuff like that. And so like our goal was to like just never ever, like, if we want to make a pop album next, we could do it. If we want to make a straight hip hop album next, we could do it. If we want to make a grindcore album, we'll do it. Like, so to say like what we want to do next, or what we'd like to do next, I mean, it's really open. It's just like what we're feeling at that moment, at that time. Who we want to work with, I don't even know, to be honest. I'm really open to anything personally. I'm kind of the most distant out of the entire band. I'm kind of like my own I'm kind of like a hermit, so I don't communicate too much with people in the scene or bigger than me and that I know of, and that kind of stuff. So I don't personally know who I'd like to work with. But every time these guys bring up someone that is like, hey, this person wants to work with us or would like to, it's always a great time. So I'm open to whatever they suggest usually.
I know me personally, I'd really like to work with probably, I'd love to get like a beat or something produced from Maisie Casey from Scythe Gang. I think that would be super cool. I've been talking to Doc Gruesome from Iltrix a lot too. Him and Maniac are both like incredible. I love them both. So to be able to work with those guys would be sick. My number one though, I don't know if you guys know Notions at all, but I'd love to work with Kalen as well from Notions. He's incredible.
Ronnie, what she was saying about being able to go where you want, that is a very admirable goal, because we've said it before, you don't want to get boxed in. You say this, that your whole intention is to just grow this into this beast that is whatever the hell you want it to be, whenever the hell you want it to be. That is, like I said, that's an admirable goal to have.
Yeah, and so like I would say my biggest, the biggest thing that I try to do, and the whole reason that I make music and I am part of this band, is that my goal is to make other people feel something off of our music, whether that's emotionally or like physically, like it just gets you moving or one way or another. And I think that's what everybody that listens to music, that's what they get out of music. And so that's why I don't want to be stuck to one scene, is because I feel like when you're an artist, I think it's like, it's hard to explain, but like it's not the making the music that drives me. It's feeling the impact that the music has. And I think that any scene and anybody from any scene can really appreciate any music, especially the kind that we make. And so like, I just want to take what we do to as many people as possible, not to be, big and famous or anything like that, but just to hopefully to make somebody feel something,
But I mean, hey, if that happens along the way, why not, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty impressive when you see an arena full of people just moving around and it's something that you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's no better feeling. No better feeling.
What do you think the biggest show you've played thus far is?
Twisted.
Yeah, we played
both
Twisted.
of them was ICP, but yeah, Twisted was crazy.
Yeah, that one was at the Palladium. But the ICP and at the FET, and then Twisted at the Palladium. Both of them were massive in terms of crowd turnout. And just
how was the response from each crowd? Because right now I hate to be like that, but there is a difference between an M&E crowd and a psychopathic crowd at this point in our time.
So when we did that, this was kind of obviously, whatever the divide was there, but it wasn't quite as like intense of people being like, oh, well, why is this person on this show and this show type of thing. It was more so just like a bunch of people who were there to go see a killer show and were like super stoked that the energy was there.
God, I love that.
So that, to me, I don't think that there was really much of any sort of like gripes going on at that point in time about who's getting booked on what show.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. What was that, like 2 years ago, Ronnie?
Dude, I have no idea what time is.
I totally understand your pain. It's like, is it next week? Is it next year? I don't know.
It's so weird because with the whole quarantine thing with COVID, like I feel like last year was actually like 2 years ago. So
for sure,
nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, there's a definite time lag that I can feel.
Yeah, the long term for me is lagged out from COVID, and then my short term, I never know what day it is because I work third shift, and I'm just like, I wake up and it's like, it's light outside.
I get that, man. I work second shift, but like this last week, I've had to pull like doubles, so I've been working like 5 a.m. to like 8 p.m. and then it's like, holy crap! Like, when am I going to see the sunlight?
Yeah, it's kind of unfair what employers expect of us. And I mean, that's why you guys are trying to do this, because you want to break out of the workaday scene. It's what we're all trying to fucking do, no matter what anybody wants to admit. But so let's say things go the way you want. 5 years from now, where do you see yourselves?
Oh man,
I just want to consistently play music on stage and just have a little house of my own. That's all I could ask for, you know?
Nice.
That's pretty spot on, man. I mean, I love traveling the country and like meeting all these great people and forming these friendships. I mean, that is really the goal, is just to consistently be like out there making enough money to pay my bills. I don't heck care if I have $1 million friggin' dollars, but as long as I have the money to pay my bills, I don't have to get up early as shit to do a 9-to-5 job of redundant bull crap and just a company that does not give two single shits about my equity or who I am. You know, I don't care about that. I want to be out there. I want to be seeing my friends that live everywhere. I want to be just having a good ass time.
So I do hear a little bit of a tinge of that hatred of the normal grind, and it tells me that you must have had some kind of job that was just absolutely terrible. So what is the worst job you've done so you could continue to chase the dream?
Oh man. All right. Damn, what's the worst job I've done? I mean, shit, man. I can't even. I've had a lot of jobs over the last like 10 years. I'm not gonna lie, just because like I'm never like happy doing something for too long at one point. So it's like I gotta move on to something else that is gonna be way less miserable.
Absolutely. It's not doing what you love. So
I honestly probably wouldn't even be able to say which one has been the worst thus far in terms of like having to do something just to like make a little bit of money to keep on going, you know? Like I don't.
They're all bad, kids. Do what you love and make money. Make it work.
I can pull one off the top of my head. I was the Liberty Tax Statue of Liberty outside of Liberty Tax for about 2 months.
You win.
I
do want to say one thing though, and it's something that like I've struggled with in the past, because I find that because you're chasing a dream, you believe that obviously the Liberty Tax thing that fucking sucks. There's no way around that. But I've had jobs that I mentally thought were way worse than they really were, because I put myself in like a bad mental state. And I gotta say, it's not about, happiness isn't a destination, it's a mindset. And I hope that anyone like that hears that, I hope they can drive home to somebody, because I feel like we spend our whole lives chasing something, and it's not about the goal that we achieve. It's about the journey it takes us to get to there. And so just remember that for anyone listening.
Absolutely. We just a few years ago were just two regular guys, and I mean we still are. We have a YouTube channel, and we've done so many things, and I'm sure you guys have done so many things in the really short time that you've been doing this. And just every day it's like you have to account for, like, you're on that show. Yeah, it's an everyday grind for you now because you're going to the show and then you're going into the van and you're going to the next place. But that's not something that's guaranteed, or I guess you just have to count that as the victory. You're living that life.
Exactly. You have to, when you have a win, no matter how small it is, you have to take it. You got to cherish it, because you really never know. Like, it could be a long time in between one win to the next one, no matter how big or small, about, things moving forward. Or, sometimes you can have everything planned out to a whole, timeline of like, this is what we're going to do this year. And then life takes you by, hits you with a storm. And, so you got to just cherish the little moments and just keep on trudging through, because I mean, you'll get there eventually. You just can't stop working. You can't give up.
So I guess one of the final questions I want to ask before we let you guys go out of here. What are some mistakes you could tell guys who are trying to, I won't say follow in your path, but who are just trying to make it as a band? What are some mistakes you can tell them that they need to avoid early on?
Laziness. Don't be lazy. I suffer from that so bad. And just don't be lazy. That's my biggest recommendation.
For me, it's when people are, don't take hate personally, take it as a compliment. Because if somebody hates you that bad, they're still talking about you, and any publicity is still publicity.
It's nice to have free space in people's heads.
Exactly. So if you're hating, good. Keep saying, "Oh, this band," because somebody eventually is going to look it up because of how much they've heard about how, oh, it sucks or it doesn't, whatever. But just, you know what? Don't go battling with people in the comment section. It ain't worth it. It's just mentally exhausting. Take it as a win, because all publicity is still publicity.
I agree with that, but I like trolling them a little bit. I like
Trolling is different than
I definitely love just talking shit in the comment section. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I think at some point, and I don't know when it'll happen, but we're definitely gonna put out like a Sky Swamp reads mean tweets video of like the comments that we've had, because
now that is something that is some shit I want to see. I definitely want to fucking see that.
A lot of people that like spit hate too are just like literally just out of their mind. Like it's just like, what? I don't even know what you're saying, bro. Like it's not even justified, but it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, you want to ask your stupid fucking question, Paul?
I don't even have a stupid question. Thank you very much. I do have one final question before you guys go. And when bands come through your town, they got to eat somewhere, and I'm sure they're tired of the IHOP and the Denny's. When they come to your town, where are you telling everybody they should go to eat?
Well,
Connecticut, so nowhere for me.
All right, so I'm actually stationed up. I live up in Rhode Island. The rest of the guys are in Connecticut. So I'll say 2. I'm gonna go with 2. If you're in New Haven, Connecticut, you gotta stop at Bar and get yourself some mashed potato pizza. All right. Don't sleep on that. Don't fuck up. Go get it. Secondly, if you're in Rhode Island, Providence, all right, the New York system is like a little hot dog hamburger diner type deal. They got the coffee milk in there to die for. All right. And it's cheap as shit. It's delicious.
Well, you heard that straight from fucking novels from Sky Swamp Orange. Anything else you guys want to add, or tell them where they can find you on the social medias or any of that other happy horse shit?
Sky Swamp Orange everywhere.
Yeah, at Sky Swamp Orange or skyswamporange.net. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. Do it on these guys too. All right.
Absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, spread this shit like the HIV.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for fucking just being with us, guys. We really appreciate it. And I can't say it enough. You really are turning fucking heads. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it very much. And you know what? Much love to you guys. This was honestly one of the most fun and like in-depth, fun, like just good time overall interviews.
Awesome.
I can say we've done.
Yeah, the only bad part about the interview is when I had to almost shit myself.
Yeah, but it worked out perfectly because Zoom was like, you got to stop right now. So you got your bathroom break.
I was about to be like, guys, I got to go.
We always bring you such exclusives, like the fact that Ronnie almost shit himself. Thank you so much for being here with us, guys. We really appreciate it. If you ever got anything you want to promote or you ever want to be on again, just hit me up anytime.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I'm sure the other guys would like to join in when they have some free time too.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to whatever project you have coming in the future, and seeing you guys at Camp Zool. Till then, next time and shit.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
Yep.
See you guys. Peace.
Peace.